Welcome back, guys. This is part two video of Bonnie Blue being arrested in Indonesia. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notifications to get notified for when I release new videos. Let's get right back into the video.
Criteria for further suspicion as the case is still under investigation. But I mean, it looks like Bonnie Blue is in some trouble here, right? And to give you an idea of what we're talking about, how serious it is, and again, I'm going to bring on an international law attorney in a minute who has been to Bali, knows the laws there, can give us a sense about how serious this is. The South China Morning Post reported in an article last year that Bali took this very aggressive initiative against indecent acts, that there was 157 foreigners who were kicked out of the island for doing things. You have 194 people that were temporarily held at an immigration center who were waiting to be deported. So they have taken a very aggressive stance against indecent acts and activity and things of that nature. Now, I should also mention that Bonnie Blue is no stranger to controversy with the legal system. She was apparently banned from Australia last year after she allegedly planned to create pornographic content with 18-year-olds and make money off of it by posting online. And because she applied for a standard visitor tourist visa, and when on that you can't engage in paid work or commercial activity, her visa was apparently canceled before she even entered the country because of what she was promoting. There was even a change.org petition, by the way, that got thousands of signatures begging the Australian government to not let her come in. She was also accused, by the way, of faking her own arrest out in the UK, that it was a publicity stunt. And something else making the waves is that Bonnie Blue's former collaborator, OnlyFans influencer, Annie Knight, has spoken up. She spoke to Us Weekly and said, quote, "In my industry, anytime you go overseas, you have to be aware of the laws surrounding sex work in the country you are visiting. I always am super thorough with my research whenever I travel and make sure to be extra cautious. I'd never do my job in a country where my work is illegal, and I just would never risk myself like that. Honestly, Bonnie being arrested really didn't shock me. Bonnie went to Bali, a country where sex work is illegal, and despite knowing that, she still chose to do it and break the law. Being arrested was always going to be a risk, and I did try to warn her, but she didn't listen, and now she's experiencing the repercussions. That being said, it must be absolutely terrifying being arrested in a different country, and I really hope she's okay." And then
Any
again,
night.
when she claimed that she tried to warn her, she heard my warnings and she chose to ignore them, and it's hard to feel sorry for her. She made her bed and now she's lying in it. Okay, so I have a ton of questions about this. I'm not familiar with the laws over there, what the real potential consequences could be, whether or not there are any international avenues or resources that could help her out. So let's talk about it. Okay, time to bring in David Tefuri, international law attorney. Whenever we have these kind of cases, he's the perfect guest to have on. David, thank you so much for taking the time. First of all, my understanding is you have spent time there.
Dude
So you
making
have spent
150
time
a
in
month.
Bali. What do people not realize about the Indonesian laws? I mean, this is really, really strict. What do we not understand about their laws there?
Thanks, Jesse. Good to be on with you again. Bali is in Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. So
Oh, it's a Muslim
across
country.
Indonesia, there are conservative values because of its Muslim background. But Bali actually is not Muslim. Bali is Hindu, and it's a mix of Hinduism and traditional Balinese culture and religion. As a result, Bali also is very culturally conservative, especially when it comes to public displays of affection. That is very much discouraged. When you're there, you're not supposed to kiss in public. Even holding hands in public for too long can be controversial. In Bali, obviously, it's not illegal, but it's frowned upon.
Are people though getting arrested for kind of indecent acts, whether it's something extreme like allegedly making pornographic material or displaying certain the way they dress or things of that nature? I mean, are people getting arrested? Are they being detained? Are they being criminally charged? Are they going to jail? Are they being deported? Explain to us.
Yes. There are previous cases where foreigners have been arrested for making pornography or distributing pornography. And keep in mind that the law that prohibits the making or distribution of pornography is an Indonesian law. So it applies across Indonesia. But in Bali, they are going to enforce that law because it comports with their traditional values.
Is she legitimately looking at 15 years in prison? I mean, 15 years in jail for something like this? If they say that she was creating, let's say, pornographic material with young men, I guess it would be even more aggravating if she was doing it for money, right? Putting it up online and monetizing it. Is she really looking at 15 years in jail?
I think she is. Now, here's a couple caveats. I think about the case of Chappelle Corby. I don't know if you remember, if your audience remembers that one, but she was an Australian woman in 2004 who went to Bali, and then they found in her boogie board she had put cannabis or marijuana. Allegedly, she denied that. And she was arrested for transporting marijuana into Indonesia, and she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So this was a big case that got a lot of media attention. And one of the interesting things is that despite all of the media attention and pressure on Indonesia not to maintain such a significant sentence on her, they went through with it. And I think she spent something like 11 years in prison. She was ultimately released, but even after she was released after 11 years or so, she actually had to stay in Bali for a few more years under probation. So I think her total time where she was not free to leave was something like 14 years. And so that's what Bonnie is facing now. It's a different crime, and pornography may get a slightly less harsh sentence than a drug crime, because drug crimes are especially frowned upon in Indonesia, and Indonesia is known to be very strict about enforcing its drug laws. But in this case, because also what she's been convicted of, or what she's been charged with, is carries such a big sentence, it is possible she could serve 14 years.
Now, to be clear, she hasn't officially been charged, but they're investigating here.
Right.
And I guess the question is, what are they looking at? So they apparently found all these materials, right, in the place where she was staying, which would look like somebody that is about to engage in sexual activities, potentially sexual activities on camera. Why are they looking at her Instagram too? Why did they seize her Instagram account?
Because if you look at her Instagram, she was putting up stories and videos from Bali, where she was encouraging university students from Australia who are there right now during their break, the holiday break, to meet with her and to engage in pornographic activities with her that would be filmed. She's known to do this around the world, as you know. But what was interesting is she was using social media as a way to recruit people to engage in these pornographic activities.
So her defense would have to be, we never actually engaged in any acts, or if we did engage in acts, it wasn't filmed, or if it was filmed, it wasn't commercial, like we weren't monetizing it, or is it, hey, listen, if you're filming it and you're doing this, that's it. And I wonder if that, I mean, because I'm trying to understand, I don't know anything about the laws over there, which is why I want to have you on. I mean, what are ways that she could potentially get out of this?
You're exactly right. That would be her defense, that despite what I said on social media and the provocative videos that I put up, we didn't actually engage in any pornographic activities here, and we didn't film them, and we did not distribute them, which is what the law prohibits. Now, because they've seized her vehicle and they probably searched where she was staying, they may have found those types of materials. That's not clear yet. I'm sure they're looking through her phone, looking through her video camera and other recording devices to see what she actually recorded.
By the way, so I mentioned that she was released from custody, but her passport was seized. She's transferred to the immigration authorities, who apparently work hand in hand with law enforcement here. They are going to be interrogating her, or will interrogate her, or have interrogated her for a period of 48 hours. What is going on there? What can be the product of that? Is she going to be removed from the country? I mean, how does it work?
Well, this law and also the drug laws both enable the Indonesian authorities to arrest and prosecute someone for violating the laws, or allow them to transfer them to immigration authorities so they can be deported. So her best hope is that she is deported, and she should want to be deported as soon as possible so she doesn't have to face any potential criminal charges related to violating this law. It's not clear if Indonesia is going to do that. Of course, if there's international pressure, especially from her home country, maybe they will choose to do that.
Is there an extradition agreement in place if she were to go back to the UK? Do they have to send her back to Bali to be prosecuted? Do you know anything about that?
Well, one of the things about extradition, as you know, is you cannot extradite someone from
All right,
another country if the
10
crime that they are
minutes.
being extradited for is not a crime in that country.
I think low key she gonna get out. Um, and she probably gonna be she's probably gonna she's probably gonna get banned from Bali. That's what I could. That's the only thing I could think of. She might get banned from Bali, and then she's probably gonna pull the stunt somewhere else, and she might have a success. That's what I think. Right now, she's detained. Hopefully, nothing bad happens to her. Um, I think she has some good points for why she does what she does, based on the interview with her and Andrew Tate. Some stuff I did disagree with, but everybody got their own reason for doing things, and I can't judge them. We can't judge them. So, Bonnie Blue, hold your head, girl. We see you when we see you. All right, y'all. We going into the next reaction video. This one was a cop, a deputy that um deputy she killed someone, and we want to know if she's going to get some type of penalization for her actions, because it wasn't malicious, but but she did break a law. She got in that car after drinking. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna pause this video. We're gonna start a new one because right now we're at 12 minutes, and we're gonna do a reaction to that one. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell notifications to get notified for when I release new videos, and share this video so I could get caught in the algorithm. And yep, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.